Hey, this is Pete Rivera, aka Pete the Peptide Guy, and I'm at the podcast lane. So today, my guest is Karla Vandenberg. Hi, Karla. How are
Hi.
you?
Hi, you said it perfectly.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
um, so you have a very unique creation, okay, and it's called Monkey Dooz.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
So Monkey Dooz is a kid salon and party place. I started it in 2001, long, long time ago. It was the first kid salon in the whole country, and I started it while I was on a dairy farm. I was bored. I was watching Oprah one day, and she said, "You need to do your passion." And I thought, well, what's my passion? And my kids are my passion. And when they were little, my son didn't like to get his hair cut and he would go crazy and I'd have to hold him. And I thought there has to be a better way. And my little girl loved to get dressed up and she loved sparkles. And I believe that the little girls, they walked out and they just felt better about themselves. And so I flew to New York. I went to check out there was one children's salon where they did haircuts, and I thought, "I gotta be able to beat this." So then I flew back and I got a space and I designed it and made it a rainforest theme, and the people came.
Wow, an amazing story and how you came up with that, and what a great concept. Because yeah, that's the challenging part, right? When you have smaller humans and you're trying to navigate their,
Yeah,
their hair
the
and then
stylists
their
have to be
stylists.
like
Exactly, yeah.
acrobats, like here, and there.
Yeah.
Now we're the only ADA compliant hair salon for children in the country. So that's huge. So we have realized that, autistic children need
Mhm.
specialized service. And I've also developed a product line that helps with calming as well. So it's perfect. And, it's bright colors. It's all natural, botanical. And so Monkey Deuce only became a franchise 2 years ago. It took a long, long, long time, and I built 5 stores in between of my own, and then I stopped. So I had 2 trademark locations that are still operating in Riverside, California, and Richland, Washington. I also put them in Jupiter, Florida, and Boca Raton, Florida, at the Atlantis Hotel in the Bahamas.
Right.
Um, but I slowed down. I thought I'd be a regular person for a while and just do a regular job and you know, but it didn't work out very well because it's just, it could be everywhere and it should be everywhere. It should be the only children's salon. So I came back to Scottsdale now to concentrate fully on this, and then we're going to start building and expanding here.
That's fantastic. I mean, you found a need, right? You found there was a need for this. You had the idea and you implemented it, and then you came back to it. So why Arizona?
Well, I first came to Arizona to be a golf pro. When I was very young, I only had $500 and I drove my car all the way from Calgary, Alberta, down here on a student visa legally.
Okay.
Okay, that was
Yep.
we knew back then.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, I did it, and then had a little apartment in Tempe, and went to school and taught golf lessons, and then so this is the first place I came, and then I left, and I met a dairy farmer in Tempe, and we went to Washington State and built a dairy. So it's taken a while, and my first location was in Yakima, Washington, which no one really hears about. Um, if it would have been in California right away off the top or here in Arizona, they would be everywhere. But I started out there where it took a long time to get the word out because marketing is a huge, without marketing
Yeah.
and that's to get the word out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that marketing, how have you developed that?
Um, well, I won Enterprising Woman of the Year, so I was on covers of magazines, and that was like 10 years ago. And then I was on the Martha Stewart show, and people were coming to me in the very beginning. And recently, once you have a salon, you actually don't have to do much marketing. But since I don't have my own right now, I am really happy that the latest, like our first franchise, will go up in Missouri. So,
Great.
all the way over there, a fantastic couple that, they're tired of working day-to-day jobs. They're retiring, they're getting out of it. They actually used their house to get the financing to build a Monkey Deuce. So that's what's happening now. And once they open, um, The marketing people will come. Once they come, one little girl comes to a birthday party or gets their hair done, topped with sparkles, they leave and it just spreads. So we're all about self-esteem, sparkles and dreams. And it's a tagline. I always thought if I looked better, I would have been a better golfer. So because if you feel better
Sure. Yeah.
when they look in the mirror and their eyes light up and the sparkles and they go and they feel better about themselves. So when you feel better about yourselves, you'll do better. And that's what it's all about. And so marketing, we just need that a location, and we need a location here. As far as marketing here,
Yeah.
I'm here with you,
Yeah.
and we're going to be in the good times. And beginning of the year, you'll see more, but more through social media.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. No, you know, people forget that those, the children, their self-esteem is just is so important, especially today's world with social media and all these other things that go all around them. You and I didn't have that issues when we were younger. So it's really important that they
Mhm.
start off the right way, and if you can give them positive experiences, by self-care and looking good, feeling good kind of attitudes, then that's exactly what propels them to the future, right?
Yeah, that's perfectly said. Yeah, I think I would have done better if I would have had a Monkey Dooz when I was little. So that's the mission behind it, is to make a difference. When I went back to the Richland, Washington salon, I was getting a coffee, and the man that served me, well, he was about 25, and he said, "What are you doing here? You're from out of town?" I said, "Yeah, I'm here for the salon. I created it." And he said, "You created Monkey Dooz? I remember getting my hair cut, and it was fabulous." And I've run into that a couple times when I was in LA. I had this one gal that worked for me, and she said when I gave her my telephone number, the area code matched Idaho, which was my main location there. She got tears in her eyes, and then she made me cry. Like, the feeling was really something. She said, "You made a difference." She said, "You're the reason I came to LA because I wanted to become that person." How good I felt there at Monkey Dooz. So, yeah, she became one of the top models in LA.
Wow, that's I
Yeah,
mean, again, to have those such great stories
yeah.
that just kept driving you to keep doing it and hearing that you had an effect on somebody's life so many years later, how does that make you feel?
It's probably the real reason that I keep going, and it's hard because when you don't have any income from a current store and you just keep believing in the dream,
Mhm.
then you have to find all kinds of little ways to keep
Yeah.
living, but you keep believing, so that's the real reason that I keep going.
So going back on that, where'd you learn that from?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I don't think that can be taught, really. I think that's while you're growing up as well, though. Yeah, so
Yeah,
maybe I think it's in your DNA.
right.
So my dad never gave up and taught me never to give up, and I think, yeah, and we never stopped. We had to we want to be better. You
Mhm.
grow up and you want to be better, and you had to work hard. So I was always like that, and never like to lose. I have a thing about losing. I can't do a cartwheel. I know that I'm not good at that, but usually everything else I do pretty well.
Right. So I mean, you sound like an extremely driven person and
Yeah.
you
Well, so
saw.
if I didn't do well in sports, I got told about it, and I got yelled at, and I told so I always had to be better,
Mhm.
and so right from the very beginning, we were taught that. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Wow. Again, I mean, simply just amazing. Why the franchise model?
Oh, well, good question. I was actually considering the licensing.
Mhm.
Um, and so we're actually doing both because to give flexibility for people that don't want to spend, $40,000 and follow every single guideline to give them some flexibility. So we're doing those for $15,000 as well. So I'm the only children's salon as well now because I've lost traction because I haven't been out there, right? Because I just became a franchise 2 years ago.
Right.
So now you can do the franchise model and the license model to give more flexibility, and we're even providing funding too. So I have people behind me that believe so much in me that they're helping people fund their own business, their own Monkey Doos. So because I'm not going to quit. I mean, I've had requests from Dubai, the UK, from France.
Right.
A lady
Yeah.
will listen to this from France, and she'll go, "Ah, yes, she needs to be here," right? So, but that the franchise model, I thought I wanted I wanted them to be I thought I had created something great, and when someone goes off and kinda does it their own, they might not have the right taste,
Sure.
right? And,
Right.
try
Yeah.
to create a Nordstrom, but it's not a Nordstrom because you're
Mhm.
not the Nordstroms. So,
Yep.
it's good to follow that, but I've kind of loosened up now that I'm, so many years in the game, so if you wanna create something little, a couple stations, we'll do that, and we'll sell you a license.
It's fantastic. It sounds like you have a vision just to be everywhere.
Right, yeah, that's a good way to put
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And I mean, how do people get involved really quickly?
So they can contact me at, they can go to the website, monkeydooz.com.
Okay.
I had that stolen from me. It took me money to get it back. Please go to monkeydooz.com.
Please go.
Dooz.com. And or they can, just message, DM, um, Karla Vandenberg 2 at gmail.com. That's my personal Gmail. And I'd love to help and I just want to expand them. And, we go into the community as well and help the teams. So we give back. Um, I'm not greedy. I just want to make a difference and have a business that helps everyone.
Well, you sound like an absolutely wonderfully driven human being,
Mm,
and I'm glad you're doing this, and it's for a great cause. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate and love the information and
mm,
conversation. This is Pete the Peptide Guy,
mm.
and with Carla.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.